Hi, everybody. This is Brad Myers from the News Journal and DelawareOnline.com. I'm here tonight with my good friend and colleague, Kevin Tresolini, and St. George's football coach, John Wilson, president of the Delaware Interscholastic Football Coaches Association. How are you guys doing on this snowy evening?
Hey, Brad. Great to be with you and John tonight.
Yes, thank you, Brad. Thank you, Kevin.
Well, it's good to be here, and I'm wearing the old In the Zone blazer from our former In the Zone show. I know Andre Smith is out there watching, so a shout out to Andre. The coronavirus pandemic presented many challenges to Delaware's 2020 high school football season. The start of the season was delayed until mid-October. The regular season was shortened to 7 games, and the playoffs were shortened to 2 weeks. Another challenge came when the season ended. As DFCA was meeting to select the all-state teams, the state's head coaches discussed not being able to host their annual banquet. After considering some alternatives, Delaware Online was happy to step forward and create an online banquet.
Brad and John, it is such a pleasure and honor to do this with you two guys tonight. Brad, you and I have worked together for a long time. And you and I both still get a thrill from seeing high school football players and coaches enjoy the game and succeed. And we enjoy chronicling those achievements as much now as we did when we were younger. And tweeting was only something that birds did. John, it seems like yesterday you were throwing that touchdown pass on a hook and lateral to Jason Ziemba and Gowan Smith to help Delcastle beat Brandywine 10-7 in a big football game. You've continued to distinguish yourself since then as a coach, teacher, and leader of DFCA. It's great to do this with you. I've known you a long time, and it's been a pleasure. This year we all learned that adversity is a big part of football, but Delaware's players, coaches, trainers, athletic directors, and fans, they faced more than ever this year. They had to wear masks. They had to social distance. Everyone had to worry about the possibility of a positive COVID test canceling a game. But on the field, the game was as good as ever. So tonight, it's a pleasure for Delaware Online, in conjunction with DFCA, to recognize the first, second, and third team All-State players, the 3 state players of the year, the Maxwell Football Club's Mini Max Award winners and Delaware Player of the Year, the Coaches of the Year, and the winners of the DFCA Crown Trophy Sportsmanship Awards. We will also pay tribute to 2 longtime officials who passed away after this season.
Great intro, Brad and Kevin. As president of DFCA, I would like to thank Delaware Online for finding a way to help us honor our annual award winners. I would also like to thank DFCA's longtime sponsor, Delaware Orthopedic Specialists, for providing the trophies that will go to the night's winners. DOS also sponsors our All-State and Coach of the Year awards.
So let's get this thing started. The best part of DFCA's annual banquet at Dover Downs is watching the first team All-State highlight film during the buffet dinner. Sorry to say you're on your own for dinner tonight, but we're happy to be able to share the highlights with an even larger audience this year. Thanks to Chris Larson of Incognito Productions for his help in gathering the highlights. Here we go with the best plays of 2020 from each of the first team All-State players. I was fortunate enough to be there in person for many of those plays, including Devin Smith's kickoff return. That's the first kickoff return like that at the new Abysinio Stadium, which was a great addition this year. While all of those players are outstanding, a few stand out above the rest. Next, we will feature junior Kevin Ignudo, who stepped into the role of Howard's feature back and ran all the way to Delaware's Offensive Player of the Year award. With 5 seniors blocking for him, Ignudo turned heads all season. As Howard coach Dan Ritter said, every time he touched the ball, he did some things with it that made you look twice.
Now it's time to feature the Defensive Player of the Year, linebacker Alton Dennis of Sussex Central. The senior leads the Golden Knights with 2 Division I championships in 3 years, and in the words of Sussex Central head coach John Wells, it didn't start in preseason. It didn't start in the first game for him. It started when the last game ended the year before. He earned it every step of the way.
Next up is the state lineman of the year, Elijah Statham of Smyrna, the defensive tackle and tight end. Eagles coach Mike Judy says the 275-pound junior is, quote, just one of those guys who's built for college football. He's strong and quick and explosive and mean. Coach Judy also said that EJ threw blockers around like they were dirty clothes. So it's no surprise that Statham has already committed to the University of Pittsburgh.
It's great to honor the best of the best. Kevin and I have written about all three of those players, plus much more about high school football, including the top 100 player rankings you will only find on DelawareOnline.com. They're sometimes controversial, but we know a lot of people enjoy looking at them. Please consider a digital subscription to keep up with all of the high school sports action, including photos, videos, and stories all year long from our entire staff.
Next, we want to honor all the players who made the All-State second team. Here is a slideshow featuring them.
Congratulations to everybody who made the first and second team, especially those who made it on both sides of the ball. That's very impressive. Now it's time to recognize all of the players who made the All-State third team. Here's a slideshow featuring them.
Next up, DIFCA is an organization of coaches, and we are always happy to select and recognize our coaches of the year. In Division I, the honor goes to John Wells of Sussex Central. After the Golden Knights won their second state championship in 3 years, Wells said, "I think our team did something special. Obviously, anytime you're recognized by your peers, it means a ton. There are some great coaches out there who did great jobs this year, so I'm very humble in receiving this award." Our Division II Coach of the Year is Archmere's John Belace. After the Hawks won 8 straight games and reached the state final, Belace said, "It's a big honor, not just for me, but for our whole coaching staff and for our players. As you know, a coach is only as good as the guys in front of him. So for our whole program, it's a big honor." Sorry for that interruption. Congratulations to both coaches for this honor. Now I'd like to introduce the Ed Brown Assistant Coach of the Year Award. This year, this award is presented to Brian Burns of Cesar Rodney. Brian has assisted with the Riders football team for 40 years. Since starting his teaching career at Dover Air Base Middle School, CR head coach Dan Candelora said, "He coaches hard, he demands good technique, he demands great effort. His speeches and correlation between life and football stories are just phenomenal, and the kids are hanging on every word." We also have 2 special recognition coaching awards, as these coaches reached milestones this year with their 150th career victories. Howard's Dan Ritter recorded number 150 on November 20th versus Appoquinimink. Hodson's Frank Moffitt earned his 150th win versus Mount Pleasant on December 5th. Congratulations, both coaches, for their achievement.
We do apologize for that little technical glitch there with the Division II Coach of the Year, John Belace of Archmere Academy. Obviously, the Hawks had a great season, and it's a very well-deserved honor for John. Long a fixture in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, the Maxwell Football Club of Philadelphia has expanded its reach into Delaware. The Maxwell Club gives the head coach of each of the first state's 44 high school football teams the opportunity to nominate one senior for that school's Mini-Max Award. Here is a slideshow with each of this year's honorees.
This year, we lost two beloved football officials, Mac Truxon of the Delmarva Association and Bob Brown of the Northern Delaware Association. Mac passed away on December 19th, and Bob passed away on January 8th. Both Mac and Bob served as officers and assigners for their organizations, officiated countless games, and were respected for their professionalism, integrity, and commitment to high school football. DIFCA appreciates and understands the importance of all those who officiate our games. That is why this year we would like to begin a new tradition by recognizing selected officials for their outstanding service and dedication to Delaware high school football. The first honorees for this award are deservingly Mac and Bob for their noteworthy careers.
Sorry, I believe that we skipped over one of our big awards here. Once the Mini-Max award winners are identified, a committee meets to choose the Maxwell Football Club's Delaware Player of the Year. The winner is selected based on their football ability, academic achievement, and community service. The 2020 winner is CJ Henry of Hodson Votech. As John said, we're really going to miss Mac Truxon and Bob Brown, two great officials. We all owe a debt of gratitude to the officials because one of the many things they do is help with sportsmanship, which is something DIFCA emphasizes most. Playing hard but fairly is always the number one priority. To that end, each coach nominates a senior to receive the annual DIFCA Crown Trophy Sportsmanship Award for that school. Here is a slideshow celebrating the sportsmanship winners.
It's great to see these Mini Max awards and sportsmanship awards that recognize someone from every high school in the state. There's another event that involves everyone in the state as well, every high school. After a one-year pause due to COVID-19, DIFCA is excited to announce that the DFRC Blue Gold All-Star Football Game will be played for the 65th time on Friday, June 18th, kicking off at 7 p.m. at its traditional home, Delaware Stadium. This game is annually one of the gems on the First State sports calendar and will again showcase the top seniors from every Delaware high school, plus other students as well. As always, it has a much greater cause as a benefit for the Delaware Foundation, reaching citizens with intellectual disabilities. I know a certain assistant cheerleading coach and Blue Gold alum in my family who can't wait, and I know that many people share that same thought.
The Blue Gold game, I love it because obviously it's a great cause, and it gives us a little high school football in the middle of the summer. You can't beat that.
Right you are, Brad.
As we near the end of the show, we'd like to thank Miguel Fernandez and Damien Giletto for producing our show tonight, and thank all of the athletic directors and coaches around the state for sending in many of the photos and the highlights you see. We ask a lot of these athletic directors and coaches, and they respond every time. It's great to work with them as they help promote our sport. It's a good time to salute everybody involved with Delaware High School football in 2020, because this year was different. The best players continued to get bigger, stronger, and faster while waiting for a season that was never guaranteed. Everybody made the adjustment to wearing masks under their helmets and following the many other safety protocols that made the season possible. Coaches battled through an entirely new set of problems, including the worry that their next game or even the entire season could be canceled at any time. Athletic directors juggled the schedules continuously. Then they nervously monitored the entire scene each week, making sure temperatures were checked and fans were socially distanced. Athletic trainers did all of the vital things they usually do, plus many added duties to keep everyone safe and healthy. And student managers took on bigger roles too, as did everybody all year to make this football season happen.
Right you are, Brad. It's been a real thrill to do this with you and John. Thanks so much for letting me take part in this. You mentioned the interior face masks that players wore attached to their helmets. In mentioning that, let's not forget one of the unsung heroes of the 2020 football season. That would be Mount Pleasant defensive coordinator Matt Greenberg, who was the inventor of those face coverings that the players attached to their helmet face guards to help ensure their safety during the COVID-19 pandemic. Also deserving big shout outs tonight are our News Journal photographers and videographers, Bill Bretzker, Jerry Hobrocken, Damien Giletto, and freelancers such as Jason Minto, Saquon Stimson, and Andre Smith for all the riveting, colorful images that made this possible. You know, plus the videographers at all the various high schools around Delaware who provided the highlight reels that we were able to use for our show tonight. You know, again, as we've talked about, the limited fans allowed to attend games in person this year followed the rules and seemed genuinely grateful to be there when they could. You know, trying to get through the difficult circumstances of this year. But when the season ended on December 19th at Dover High School, Sussex Central, the Division I champion, and Howard, the Division II state champions, were just as happy and thrilled as any state champions have been in any other year. And I think perhaps this year they may have cherished those state championship trophies even more, just because of the adversity that was dished out this year more than any other year.
Brad, Kevin, I'm really glad you guys allowed me to be a part of this, not only with COVID, but the weather made for this remote banquet to be special this year, at least to give our kids something to be honored for. And once again, DIFCA would like to thank Delaware Orthopedic Specialists for its longtime sponsorship and for providing the trophies that will go to tonight's winners. The awards will be distributed to your head coaches in the coming weeks. We would also like to thank Crown Trophy for sponsoring the Sportsmanship Awards And we would like to thank Delaware Online for giving us a way to still come together and recognize Delaware's best high school football players at a time when we can't be together in person. I personally want to thank our coaches on the DIFCA board for their tireless work, their passion, and their collaboration with everything involving Delaware high school football. Every season is unique, but this one will be remembered forever for the challenges that were overcome. We can't wait to see you again in August when hopefully we can return to a normal football season. Good night, football family. Until next season.